Welcome back.
Hi, David. Hello, David.
What's up?
How are you?
Hi.
How are you? How are you?
I'm tired. I
Good.
just got off of work and
Good.
studying and all sorts of shit. So
Good. How are you guys? Hope you're well. This is the third episode of the CHG podcast, our gaming podcast that we started, and
Yeah.
we are now on the third episode. It's going good. We're happy about it.
Pretty good
David,
engagement so far. I mean,
I think so.
for what we put out, yeah.
I mean, it's not worse than anything we put out.
That's
so,
true. I saw there was like 27 views with like 15
And
comments.
I will
so.
say, well, and I'm not even like putting this out like 2 days. That's just one day. So I'm making this our Sunday thing now. This is our Sunday.
Yep.
That's our Sunday video.
Yep.
So, and I have noticed though they actually have like brought in like people I've never seen before. So I think I think my titling is hitting that algorithm.
Nice.
Boy. Yeah, YouTube, suck my dick. Anyways, we have a format this time. We have a clean format. How we're going to structure this episode. I talked to Dave about it. So we're going to start off with an easy one. We're going to start off with what we are playing right now. What's going on the last week? What we've been playing. I'll start off. I have just been playing mainly Crash Bandicoot 4 on my own time. So
imagine that.
I don't think the episodes are going to come out yet, but David and I finally finished recording it for the channel. We finally beat it for the channel after like 7 months.
Yeah, the last half a year of my life.
My life. Okay, you just sat down and watched. My life has been taken. And so, but I knew I was like, I have to platinum this. I can't not do it. So on my own save file, I've been playing along up until like when we stop, and then I play a little bit, and I stop again until we move on. But now that we're done, I played through the end, and I got all of the insanely perfect relics, which is to basically go through the whole level, no deaths, and get all of the boxes on one life. It is just pain. It is the, you look up pain, that is pain. Like it's just Crash giving you the middle finger, and just saying have fun platinuming Crash 4. That is pain. It was cool. Like that was actually the first game in my life where I have actually actively had to take breaks just from my own, like, just conscious. I don't know, because I'm getting older, I'm just more aware of myself. Because I imagine if I was doing this 10 years ago, I would have just brute forced the shit until I got it. Like I would have, even if I had made no progress on a level, I would have just stayed playing that level all night until I was done for the night. But like,
I mean, that's something I've noticed just as I've gotten older, that like I just can't do gaming marathons anymore. Like I can do a good, and Serena would be like, that's a ton of time anyway, but I can do like 3-4 hours, but then it's like, I don't know, I tap out.
I would say that is kind of like a marathon.
It is, but I've done,
that is your marathon.
That's done a lot more. I've done a lot more.
The time for marathoning has decreased drastically.
And
even if I wanted to, there's just not enough time. You got your whole worked out. Like I have my whole day job, and then I work out right afterwards, and then come home. You got to shower and eat, and then you're good for the night. And then by then you maybe have a few hours, right?
Yeah,
maybe. And if I was in a different situation, like if I had a kid or something or other responsibilities,
forget it.
Time,
Yeah.
So it's like, it's definitely, you definitely can't play 8-10 hours like you used to. Oh man, those. But anyways, so like I've actually actively had to stop. Like, so like if I finish a level, even if I get it like on one level, like I get the relic on one level, I will stop. Like, that's it, RJ. We got our victory. Let's just cut it for the night. Let's play something else. So like I'll like play that, get through a level or two, and then play like some indie games I've been buying from all these sales Sony's been having. Just kind of increase my palette for gaming and stuff. So I've been doing that back and forth. But then now I got them all. I got them all last week, and it was I couldn't even believe it. Like I feel like I can now
Euphoria.
do anything. I can do anything now with gaming. Like bring it on. I can do it now. Like I did this. There's the sky is the limit for me. Like I felt invincible. Like after going through that, like it's not even a joke, bro. It's not even a joke. So now I'm going and doing all of the inverted levels. I don't remember those. You can do the inverted levels, which is essentially the same, but they add some kind of filter or gimmick to each of the levels within that dimension or that set of levels. for instance, like the first 2 levels, you start off, everything is like darkness, but your character is luminescent, and when you spin, you release a sonar that creates a light that shows the way momentarily.
Okay.
So basically, you have to keep spinning
Yeah,
so
just
that you can see the way.
spam.
Yeah, spin spam, so that you can see spam, so that you can see the rest of the level. Which I mean, it's not hard. It's just, but it's kind of cool. But then they get stupid later on because the filters that they put on make it actually harder to see shit.
Oh yeah,
to see anything.
I bet.
Like it's really, it would be grainy, or it would be like darker, or like what I just got done doing. Everything was kind of like colored penciled, sketched in.
Oh yeah.
So it's not as defined. Like the textures aren't as crisp and good to see. So like you can't really see anything, and it makes it kind of tough. But I've been regardless of that, I've been flying through, getting all the gems on the vertical levels, because you can die 3 times, which you have no idea how much that makes a difference.
Yeah, I bet.
You can die 3 times. So
bet.
I'm more than halfway through all the levels, and when I do that, then I have the last big challenge, which is to do the time trials. And that's going to be a nightmare too, but I don't think it'll be as bad as the Perfect Brothers. But that's what I've been playing. What are you playing, David?
I've been playing a really fun game called Not Playing Anything and Studying for Spanish.
Tell me about it. I think I heard about that one.
Yeah, the graphics, not much to write home about. It's classic text-based.
Text-based.
Yeah,
it's a text-based game.
Yeah, text-based. Yeah.
It's a text-based game.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of bosses are you fighting?
Basically just a boss every time. Not doing too well.
Just a boss rush. This is a constant boss rush.
Yeah,
basically.
I am cheating a lot. I'm up on the Google just with guides out.
Looking up guides.
Yeah.
Looking up the guides.
Looking up the guides, because there's no anti-cheating software in most of the levels. So just one really big level that has anti-cheating software that I have to like really prepare for, which is actually what I'm doing tomorrow. So awesome. When I get a break from that riveting game, I really literally don't think I've played much video games in like the last 2 weeks. But I downloaded Microsoft Flight Simulator and was messing around in there.
You were playing that last week.
Yeah.
You were playing that.
I was messing around.
You were playing that a little bit last week.
Yeah, that was extenuating circumstances. I was up late talking with a friend who was going through something, so while she was talking to me, I was just messing around on that.
You still played it.
Yeah, it's true. But that was really cool because like on the Series X with the 4K on my TV, it looked really cool and really lifelike, so long as it's like far away.
So actually on that,
yeah.
So David was telling me, he sent me I woke up randomly, I think on Tuesday morning, to a picture from him, and it was a picture of a mountain, and he said, "Bro, this is Mount St. Helens, which is one of our mountains in that one, Mount Rainier, which is one of the mountains we have in my state, Washington." And I was like confused because he gave me no context. He just said, "Hey, look at this," and I was like, "Okay, either you took that on a plane and you're here for some reason, or like you pulled this from somewhere else." I was like, "What is going on?" He's like, "No, man, Microsoft Flight Simulator." I was like, "Fucking A, really?" Like that. I had a slight little bit of like, "Is he here?" Like, what?
And that was taken from on my phone of my TV that was currently running the game. It wasn't even like the camera mode inside the game. But it still looked good enough. Good enough that it looked like I took it out of a plane. Yeah, like out of your phone. Yeah. Like I guess you have a better phone than I should have expected. But like I don't know, I could see like a phone taking a picture like that. For sure. So I was a little like, oh, what? And then nope, it was not. But David just wanted to troll me. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how much detail that game has, because it has the town that I went to middle school in. That like there's only like 600 people in the town. And it like has the town and like has somewhat accurate like the buildings in the town. Like it's not perfect, but yeah. So it's been cool. Other than that, I haven't been playing anything really. I'm looking forward. But we needed. Sorry. Go ahead. Oh, I'm looking forward to Hades. Comes out on Game Pass on the 14th, and I'm definitely gonna be playing that. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Hades. Riveting.
we need to talk about your flight simulator again because you told me about this stupid save function, how it's different than the PC version, and I think that is utter
Okay,
bullshit.
actually, no, I have to take that back. My friend downloaded it, and I told him that I couldn't figure it out, and then he like sent me a video clip like literally 10 minutes later that was just like, here it is, David.
Okay, I was gonna say like, there's no way like that. You were trying to explain it to me as if like it's okay, and I'm like, this isn't okay. Like you couldn't. So basically, it was this where like most games when you have photo mode, you pause the game, you go to photo mode, and bam, you're in photo mode, like real time, taking pictures and shit. He was telling me when he went to photo mode, his plane would just keep going.
Yeah, I couldn't.
like,
it's called active.
Like, the game's not paused.
Yeah, it's called active pause.
Pause the game.
It's called active pause, where it pauses everything in the game. They have,
which is regular pause, basically regular pause.
Okay, but anyway, but you can also go into camera mode where you don't pause it, so you can get like action shots. And I just couldn't figure out how to do the pause, so that's what it came down to.
But he was trying to explain it to me like, nah, man, like I think it's a feature we're bringing in to.
I thought because I couldn't figure it out, later. So it might have
PC has it, but he was so he was so like okay with it, and I was like, this is not okay.
I made it work.
This is not okay. How dare a game not have regular pause? Like that is unacceptable.
Anyway, I figured it out.
It's okay.
So,
anyways, so that's what we're playing, guys. We're gonna transition to another section. This one is gonna be like a random question little thing, and I thought of one over the week, and I told David, hoping he's prepared for it. Basically, what it is this week's question is going to be, what is something that you missed out on gaming wise that you can no longer get or attain or whatever have you? And you kind of regret not being able to jump on the ball at the time. What do you got, David?
So I think I think it's for me, this is more of a general one, but it's any game that I came onto late that I wish that I would have been like the hit people that like had it before everybody else. So like I came on to like Mass Effect late. Someone told me about Mass Effect. I think after like the second game was out. So I played the first and then the second one. I came on to Fallout 3 late, which is one of my favorite games.
How late? On Fallout. How late?
Fallout New Vegas was already out.
Okay, so 2 years.
Yeah, so Fallout New Vegas came out.
That's not that bad.
Fallout New Vegas came out. So I played Fallout 3 and then I played Fallout New Vegas. Because and here's the thing, because I know what it feels like because I played Elder Scrolls Skyrim when it first came out, and just being able to go and talk to my friends just about like, holy, have you been playing this game? Like, and talking about it. It's just a different feeling than coming onto a game a little late. And having to, talk retroactively with people, just having that camaraderie of like everybody's playing the same game, everybody's like having the same but also different experiences with it. It's just one of those unique things in gaming or in just entertainment that is, I think, unique enough that I wish that I could go back to like my favorite games and have that experience instead of being late to the party.
I guess that matters more because you're talking about games that were out when we were in high school or middle school, where you could actually talk with a lot of people about those things. Because I don't think that matters. That doesn't really care as much now.
I mean, it still would. Like, older. I would love to find like, and it's hard because you never know when a game's gonna be Elder Scrolls before it is. But like, it would be really cool to be playing a game like that, and you be playing it too, and we can have a conversation about it. Like, I still think it would be a lot of fun.
Okay, I guess that's true. But yeah, here's a little funny thing, guys. I don't think Dave and I have ever played a game, like a big game, new game, ever at the same time.
Because you almost never play a new game right away. You always wait. That's what frustrates me. You always wait. You're just like, nah, I'll play it later. Like, you'll buy it. You'll fucking buy it. And then I'll go to your house like 2 months later and it's still sitting sealed. And I'm like, why the haven't you played this game yet? He's like, oh, well, I'm running through Crash for the 14th time. So, busy.
All right. Shut up. First of all, I never did that. Secondly, hey, the games that I end up playing day one, you don't like to play those games.
That's true.
So like, cause I like last year, for instance, I bought Neo 2 day one.
Okay, but that's my fault. I didn't know about Neo. I would have played it.
But I'm just saying though. I'm just saying I didn't play that. SpongeBob, you didn't play that.
I was not interested.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1.
I did play that.
Pro Skater 1
I played
and 2.
That. Yeah, day one.
You?
Yeah, we got it for free. So
I didn't know you played it day one. Yeah, so that's the only thing.
Yeah, well, our interests are not 100% aligned.
Yeah, our interests usually aren't aligned that well, so that's also part of the reason. But he's not right. He's not wrong. I am notorious for keeping games on my shelf for like years and never touching them, because I got so much to play, man. So many other things are playing, and like I'm catching up. I'm trying to catch up, man. I've always been trying to catch up. Everyone knows that problem, having that backlog. All right, and I am a huge culprit of that. Anyways, so I think you kind of stretched a little bit of what I was kind of hoping to get at with my question, because
I know I did. My
answer, but I'll let it slide. It's fine. Mine was I forget the exact answer I had, but it was basically DLC that is now delisted.
Okay.
From store, from storefronts. There have been several occasions on my end where I wanted to get DLC, and they just removed it from the stores. And now the biggest example of this is Guitar Hero. They took out all of their DLC, but more recently, or not just DLC, but like things that didn't get fixed, or things that aren't fixed. So now like things are like you can't play a game, or like the trophies are like completely glitched forever and they're never going to get fixed, so you can never get them all. Like those kind of things lumped together, because it has to do with like support.
Yeah, games like any game that is like done and is like you're not going to change, or like when it like online support for it gets dropped, so you can't play it online anymore. So
stuff like that. Like that's kind of stuff. There've been a lot of games from like the PS3 era, or maybe early PS4 era, that like I'm just never gonna like. Just recently I was trying to play Need for Speed The Run, just to go through all the Need for Speed games, and there's an online trophy that has been glitched, and EA will not fix it, and they haven't fixed it for like a few years.
How could they earn money off of that?
Yeah, I know, but so like that's the example. So like I'm not even gonna play the game, or if I do, I'm not gonna play it on my main account. But it's fine, because that game that Need for Speed was terrible from what I remember. Anyway, so yeah, that's my answer. Comment below. What you kind of feel you got left out on gaming wise, that you will never be able to get ever again for whatever reason or another. So comment below. Anyways, guys, it's time for our main little chunk meat of the episode here, and we're just gonna give our 2 cents on the Activision-Blizzard drama going on. I think we actually covered this
heavy at all
years ago when we were doing
like situations, but
because this isn't the first time.
No, and that's something that we should bring up.
Particularly with Blizzard. Yeah, I think it happened before. I think 2016.
Not with Activision-Blizzard though. It was with it was another big company, and now I'm.
Are you? No, I think. I mean, it could have also been, but I know Blizzard and Activision. They just went through this a few years ago. Or maybe.
No, it was somebody else.
No. I'm sorry. No, here's why. Here's why I'm saying that, because so this was a 2-year investigation, I believe, and I believe when the investigation started, it was in the news. Yeah, and then that's when there was a lot of commotion.
I'll try to look
from the employees. Because this wasn't the first. Because I know they striked on Wednesday. This isn't the first strike they did in the last few years, for similar reasons. And I believe, I want to say 2016. I don't know why, but I want to say 2016. Activision or Blizzard, they got into some hot water, for pretty much the exact same reason they're in hot water now, because of discrimination against female employees, mostly female employees. I know there's other marginalized groups, but I think it's mostly centered on.
Yeah, there
was. I know Ubisoft has come on some shit in the last like 2 years, I believe.
Yeah, there was some.
Ubisoft has some.
There was also some male associates who were talking about how they would be made fun of if they didn't participate.
They didn't say anything, or they didn't participate in the shit. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I think that was from a couple years ago. Yes, which is kind of what's kind of funny. Something I don't know how much validity there is to this, but I want to say like it's kind of interesting that EA doesn't end up finding themselves in scandals like this, they usually get into business scandals.
Well, yeah,
like behind the scenes scandals. It's kind of I'm just saying it's interesting. It's interesting, because they're the biggest one. Activision's right behind them, I believe, or maybe it's vice versa. But either way, obviously, everyone knows EA is one of the two biggest publishers. But they don't get in trouble as much when it comes to things like this. They usually get in trouble with their games and with business practices.
I think it's because here's the thing: you, as a company, you get, and it's I'm not saying it's right, but you get one of these. You get one sexual harassment thing. You get one racial discrimination thing, and that's it. Like, if it happens again, you're in like even more major stuff. So like, I think what happens is that like, it's with a lot of industries. Like, if the company's making money, the higher ups, they don't care what goes on the ground floor. They don't care about crunch. They don't care about, if there's any discrimination going on, as long as they're making money and it stays within the building. Then as soon as it gets out, then it's going to start impacting sales and their image and stuff like that. So they have to then they finally have to address it, and it gets addressed, and then at least for the foreseeable future, it stops. But like, I truly think that like, it's not an uncommon thing. And I think that they kind of talked about that in the industry, it's unfortunately with Ubisoft, it's not an uncommon thing because of the power structure that has been, in the industry forever. It's been a male-dominated space for a long time. And you can chalk that up to hiring practices and whatever else you want, but it's been a male-dominated thing. And when you have male-dominated things without oversight, shit tends to happen. So I'm not surprised by it, in the essence of like, it's a big company who makes a lot of money. And when money is involved, power is involved. And when power is involved, power is abused. So yeah, I'm not surprised.
I will say it's too. I mean, no one should be surprised. If you're in the gaming, just in the know-how, you should not be surprised. You can be mad and outraged and everything else, but surprise should not be an emotion you have or reaction you have. I will say though, one thing that I remember reading from some article about this situation that I think needs to kind of be explained. So you have some people who might think, or people who might write in these articles you might read or come across, that like, how is this still happening? Like they'll quote, and you might have seen this too, they'll quote 50% of all gamers are female. That's not exactly true. And I don't know if David knows this, but the reason why is because if you look at the reason why they come to that conclusion is because they're including mobile. They're including mobile games, browser games, and they're including all of that into gaming. And as people in gaming has a lot of different definitions, but like, you and me, we may not consider mobile, tablet stuff, browser stuff to be gaming. When we think of gaming, we don't look at that. But that is true though. If you look at mobile gaming and browser gaming, most of the player bases on those games are female. But the thing is, they'll use those statistics to say that half of all gamers are female, but it's not exactly true, because the gaming we're talking about here is console PC gaming, which is entirely different. It's totally different. And if you look at that type of gaming and the play rates on that, it is very true that the amount of females playing have increased substantially, over the years and decades. You look at all the streamers out there, so many of them are female, which just goes to show, just how far they've come, how far acceptance for girls playing games has come, which is great. But don't read that and think that like literally legitimately all like half of all actual games that you find in your consoles are girls. Because if you play a game online, you will find out that is not true at all. David plays MLB, he plays COD, he will tell you that is not true. In any game that I've ever stumbled upon online, that's not true. So I just want to just kind of, I guess, not disprove, but just kind of
put into context,
shed some light on that statistic, put into context of what they mean when they say that, because I think that's very important, and it can if you're really reading into that, then you could be like, okay, it does make more sense why these repeat offenses keep happening. Because David said, people at top don't care, but the people at top are also mainly men most of the time, because that's just what this industry's been.
And so, like, here's my thing. Like, and I know this isn't what you're saying, but what I think is, it doesn't matter if the industry was 100% male, like if females just didn't play video games. We're not taught, like, in my opinion, and I get why they bring it up, trying to get a scope of what the gaming industry, but this isn't about gaming itself. This is about business and about the game making industry, yes, but we're talking about just a company that had a toxic environment, and this is going to happen in any industry. I mean, it could be an industry, the fashion industry, as long as there are an imbalance of power in a group of people, there's going to be abuses in some regard or another. So, like, yeah, like the game, like gaming is a little bit more male dominated in its totality, but it's still like, shouldn't be happening. I guess I'm wrong, a roundabout way to say, it shouldn't be happening. But like,
yeah,
in my opinion, like, it doesn't matter what the demographic is with gaming, because the demographic that's important is what's in the actual building itself, not like who they're making games for.
True, but I will say though that you've kind of seen a bit of a correlation if you look at, like, from the 90s to now. The amount of, like, female developers and people working in studios has gone up, along with with women playing games in general.
The connection I wasn't seeing, was that, like, with more people, girls playing video games, the more they, like, hey, I like video games, I want to get involved in the industry. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's the point I'm just made to make. I mean, the point of that was all just to, because I mean, news gets misinformed. People are just misinformed. People want to just strew the wrong information. That was the only purpose of just explaining that, because that's important to know, because it just adds to another layer to the overall conversation.
I think so. Like, to give it some context, and obviously we're great representation for this topic, as both males.
Hey, but I'm black though, so I have a little more than he does.
But like, we can give examples. So like, I think to a degree of, like, the question being asked, well, why is this still happening, right? Like, we had Ubisoft, who had the exact same problem, and now we're having, a couple years later, Activision-Blizzard having the exact same problem. Like, people have been asking, like, why is this still happening when Ubisoft just got trounced for it? Well, like, again, when a company is making money, the top people don't give a shit what happens. Like, they're not looking to start problems where they don't see there's problems, and all they see is money. But the other thing is, and this puts no blame on the victim at all, but kind of to get to people who maybe don't have these experiences, like I don't, RJ hasn't in this specific regard, but like, I mean, okay, fine. If you haven't told me about some sexual harassment you've gone through, then my bad. But okay, so like, my wife, my wife worked at Starbucks, and and I always knew that there was some comments being made that weren't exactly kosher, stuff like that. But like, she told me like actual stories about, like, guys grabbing her hand, or like or like asking her where she's going after this, or following her home. Or one dude, in the presence of me, her boyfriend at the time, like on her last day of work, wanted to take a picture with her. It was one of her regulars. And this old grody dude, and I didn't know because I couldn't see, like, grabbed her butt while taking the picture with her.
I think I'm. Wait, is this the same guy?
I don't know.
So the guy who wanted a picture was an old grody guy?
Yeah.
Or is it?
So like,
I think I might know that.
my question is, and like when I learned about that, I was like, why didn't you say something? Like, why didn't you say something then? Why didn't you say something to me? Why didn't you say something to your boss? And I think we get into that kind of thing because as men, we're just like, we want to take care of it and we're going to take care of it. But the problem is, and that she said was that like, what if I did, right? So if I tell you, you get pissed and you start something with him, but like, who's the world going to side with? The 20-something-year-old or the old guy? Or, you know, she was like, I could bring it up to my boss, but like, he doesn't want to start any trouble with a customer and the customer is just going to deny it. So then I have a customer being mad with me, my boss, you know, me bringing something up with my boss that maybe he doesn't want to deal with. And it's just like, they're in a lose-lose situation. Like they're put in a position where their power is not equal and they're worried about losing their job. They're worried about just, you know, like she was like, I can shrug off that stuff. You know, she's like, I've shrugged it off my whole life. I can shrug it off. I just would rather it not cause me more problems. So like, just imagining that scenario where you're being put through this stuff, but you're like, I mean, it's literally easier for them to just ignore it than to bring it up with higher ups, which is bullshit. Which is probably the same thing within Activision. They didn't have this light on them to be able to bring it to the attention of others. Now that they do that, that's why you see women coming out now, being able to talk about it. And you know, some dicks are being like, "Oh, well, now you're talking about it. Well, why didn't you talk about it before?" It's because they didn't have the power to. Because if they talked about it, if they went to HR is just gonna be like, "Well, I mean, are you sure it was as bad as you wanted?"
What is that? I swear, I swear okay. I know David keeps thinking I'm crazy. I know Activision-Blizzard had the same issue from years ago before. So I think I read some report about it, and people did go to HR and they were refused or they were like shot down by their own HR team. So I'm pretty sure this happened.
HR is not there for the employee. They're there for the employer. They are not there to help out employees. They're there to make sure the employer doesn't get in trouble.
Damn,
it's just the way it works. Because who pays for HR? The employer, right? They're there.
You think that's true even if the HR is internal?
Yeah, because like they are there to stop problems, not fix problems, right? Like you know, HR will help, especially for like things like getting like if you're going to get fired for a bullshit reason, they'll stop that because if you get fired for a bullshit reason and then that gets found out, then that turns around and makes the company look bad. But for things like sexual harassment, if they can hush it, they're going to hush it. In my opinion.
I think David's been done this well before. He's talking super jaded. He's talking like he knows something. I will say though, as far as like the not talking until like you have more of a leg to stand on. It's something similar from what I remember hearing about stuff when it came like to the 50s and 60s with Black people. You know, like the dude going to work, husband going to work. You know, he's dealing with. We don't know what the fuck he was dealing with. You know, at work, comes home, tells his wife. She's like, "Why didn't you do something? You know, you need to do something. Stand for yourself." And it's like, no, like because I don't have the power to do that. And if I did, you know, I'm the one going to be losing in the situation. So it's a similar situation. If you, unless you know, like as a woman, if you're dealing with this shit, unless you know that you can band together with a lot of others or find some way to get this, you know, to get this publicly known, you're just one person, and you're just not going to, unfortunately, have enough power to really make a difference or really make a change, at least for yourself, let alone for everybody, you know, in your situation. You know, it's just a unfortunate it's an unfortunate circumstance that we're in as an industry, and it's always ironic because I tell Rachel all the time that because she knows nothing about games, you know that. I tell her all the time about like it's interesting how there are certain things that happen like this, and other weird things that happen in games when gaming as a whole, in my opinion, is a very liberal industry. It's a very liberal thing, which is so it's interesting. It's ironic when these things happen and how it's always been there, right? When it celebrates, all the things that come with liberalism, you know. It's really interesting. It's really interesting how that
and I mean
that happens all the time.
That kind of comes with the dichotomy of liberalism, like, and this is getting into non gaming industry.
Yeah, let's make sure we don't get too sidetracked.
Basically, like, you can consider yourself liberal, but never consider something that is directly benefiting you until it's showed to you, right? Like, and that's kind of where like the white knighting comes in. Like, there's a lot of white liberals who, they're all liberal until all of a sudden, they're what makes them comfortable gets like brought into the light of kind of being like, well, you benefit from this part of white privilege or whatever. And they're like, oh, well, but I'm different because XYZ. So, yeah. So, a lot of times, yeah, it is a liberal industry until, but you don't, I'm sure those guys who were making all those, comments and stuff didn't think they were doing anything wrong because, they weren't like, it wasn't affecting them. They saw it as all good and fun and fair because they were in power and it wasn't affecting them. So,
yeah, it's I mean, I'm a little pessimistic on this whole problem, and I think it's going to take a long time for things to change. I mean, it's the cliche thing to say is like, things start from the top. I don't think even that won't be a full fix, because you still have like everyone who plays games and they have their own different way of thinking compared to the people at top of companies. So but I think it's a good start if once the Bobby Kotick's and what Andrew Ryan, I think his name is, or whatever. Once all those dudes are either dead or get off their CEO chairman positions or whatever, and we get some not, they don't all necessarily have to be women per se, but just I would like them to be at least a little bit younger and more in tune of today's climate. And I think that would be more
yeah. I think like I was saying before, I guarantee you this is happening in other companies in the gaming industry.
You don't have to guarantee. Everyone knows across
it's
not even our industry, everywhere. Small companies,
like
big companies,
it's happening. It just hasn't been revealed yet because, again, like I said, like 4 times during this podcast, is the only thing that matters is the money, and until the money is impacted by a story like this, they're not going to care. So,
no, I don't think they will. But I mean, eventually, though, something will change.
I guess to kind of end this on like, because we've been doom and gloom, like it's going to happen, it's happening, the world shit kind of thing. Like, kind of like end on somewhat of a hopeful note. Like, what you can do is just like, when someone comes out and says shit's happening, like, first, if you tend to question things, like, at least listen to them and take what they're saying at face value, before you start to question their motives or whatever, because you never know, like, what someone's going through. And then also,
these real quick, these women, generally women, but whatever marginalized, we'll go with women because it's easier. These women developers, they're not your fucking Twitch hot tube streamers, okay? They're coming out probably for a better reason than anything that those ladies might be having problems with either. I'm not saying
anything. Like,
they're real. They're probably
if a hot tub streamer came out and said that I'm getting unsolicited, unwanted attention in this area, like, you still gotta be like, okay, let's hear it. But what you can also do too is like I think it already happened, but I think it was today. There was like a blackout of all Activision-Blizzard properties. Like I think it was today. Like you weren't supposed to play.
Shit, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I was
Yo, look
playing
at
Crash
you,
the other
not
day.
supporting
Oh,
them.
damn it.
But doing stuff like that,
no.
doing stuff like that,
Oh,
sharing
that's
hashtags, you know, it's kind of like that armchair Activision. Like you're not really sacrificing anything, and it's true, you're not, you know. But it's you know, helping the message get heard, and if you have the opportunity to do something, you know, more with it, then consider doing that. But it's, you know, and it's all about, you know, we're getting to the age of, you know, potentially having children one day. Just raising your kids better, man. Just knowing that, you know, raising your sons and daughters, that to know that, you know, you can't make, you know, these jokes and shit like that. So,
and my thing will be for the men, I will say
yeah,
stop saying stupid shit.
If you wouldn't say it about, if
stop saying
all right, like
shit.
this, I like this test. If someone said that about your mom or your daughter or your sister, and you would get pissed, then you don't say it.
I will even go. Now you need to go that far. If you feel the slightest bit weird after you said something,
that's true. But like some dudes, like I've known dudes that will say shit and they don't feel any way about it. They feel nothing.
They feel nothing. They feel nothing. They probably won't care then. If they're probably the same dudes that even if they were bothered someone said about their mom or girlfriend, they would still say it anyway. So those guys are just doomed anyways. We're getting sidetracked. So that's for the guys. For everybody, read. That's my tip. Read. When things like this happen, when you read your reports, read the whole fucking thing, please. Read the shit. And if someone gives out a statistic, maybe question it. You know, like how I just happened to have already read something years ago that talked about women being mainly on mobile gaming, but like that was part of the 50% or whatever. I already knew that, but not everyone knows that. But like, just think about some stuff. All right, people, just read the shit. Really read the shit. Read reports. Read your articles. Like, and really be informed, because that is half the battle, is being informed, because you don't want to be spreading the wrong shit or just bad shit while you're doing your armchair activism. Like the last thing you can do, the worst thing you can do is
and I think on that
please don't, because I will find you. I will find you. I will send Clank after you. We're gonna hunt
on that
you
note.
down
What's important about that, I think,
that.
and kind of what Arch is getting at, is that you don't want to say something with good intent but ill information, and then have that be what people focus on in your argument. Like if you say, you know, something like, this shouldn't be happening because 50% of women are gamers, then some, you know, asshole who just wants to discredit your whole argument is going to only focus on the fact that, well, actually 50% of women aren't real gamers, kind of thing. So
here's the thing. I am that kind of guy. I am that kind of guy. I mean, not something like as special as intense as this, but like I am that. If I hear something off from a sentence, I will focus only on that, and I'll be like, wait, that doesn't make any sense to me. We need to fix that. So sorry, I'm a terrible person. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up this episode here, guys. Hope you guys, you know, we're maybe not entertained, but just
informed,
you know, just in.
Or maybe we got you thinking.
Informed, I guess.
Engrossed.
Engrossed. I want it engrossed.
Word of the day.
Is the word I was looking for. If you been engrossed by this, we said a lot of words of the day. Honestly, you spelled out dichotomy, totality, all these 3-4 syllable words. Look at that, man. We're smart sometimes. Anyways, guys, so I'm looking about this episode here. We will see you guys on the next week's episode. I don't know what it's going to be about. Who knows? But it'll probably be about me crying about Crash again. I don't know. But anyways, guys, if you like this, please like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with your families and your pets and shit. You know, get it out there. We're trying to hopefully make this something, make this an actual something, not just something we put on the channel, but maybe something like David wants to put this on like Apple TV or Apple whatever and shit like that. So spread the word, people. Well, we will see you guys on the next week's episode. Thanks for joining. Bye bye.